Hey everybody, Amitabh Elliott here. I just wanted to make you a quick video and read some fake Buddha quotes for you. And the reason I want to read some of these for you is because there's a lot of disinformation out there about what Buddhism is and what the Buddha taught. And I want to direct you to a website where you can actually retrieve the real teachings of the Buddha. And they're so much different than a lot of the popular quotes you'll read. One of them I just found. I was looking for a banner on my for my Facebook page, and the one said, "The way is not found in the sky; the way is found in your heart." And well, it's a nice quote, and it's it's a good thing to keep in mind. It's not from the Buddha; it's fake. And I highly recommend everybody, if you find Buddha quotes, to Google the quote and fake Buddha quotes and find out if it's fake or not. And really go to accesstoinsight.org to really receive the real Dharma teachings. They're the original teachings of the Buddha, the Theravada teachings. The Mahayana teachings came after, and I don't follow those teachings because there's a lot of people that say that they're not authentic. And the Theravada teachings are absolutely authentic. They're the ones on accesstoinsight.org. So I'm going to read you a couple of quotes. The one is, "A dog is not considered a good dog because he is a good barker. A man is not considered a good man because he is a good talker." It's a good quote, but it's not real. "A family is a place where minds come in contact with one another. A generous heart, kind speech, and a life of service and compassion are the things that renew humanity." Again, a nice quote, but it's not real. "A man said to the Buddha, 'I want happiness.' All things are perfect exactly as they are." And this is a New Age belief, a New Age teaching. All things are perfect exactly as they are. And this idea that the Buddha, was sort of inactive and would put up with a lot of corruption and just allow it to be, and just sort of be this passive teacher and just this joyful, nibbanic, passive teacher. But the Buddha absolutely would have stood up for corruption. Like for example, there's a story of the Buddha, a young girl, I think, was running towards a fire, and he lied to the young girl because she was running towards danger. She was going to get burned. And he lied to her and said, "I have candy." And the young girl turned around and stopped running towards the fire. So the Buddha doesn't want anybody to hurt themselves. The Buddha didn't want any corruption. However, he did focus on two things. The Buddha said, "I teach two things, suffering and the end of suffering." And he really did focus on that. And there's a lot of similes where he says, people will ask him, "Do you know how, if there's a God? Do you know can you tell us if the universe is infinite?" Things like that. And he would say, many times, he would pick up a handful of leaves, and he would say, "Monks, what's greater, the leaves in my hand or the leaves of all this great forest?" And the monks would say, "Of course, the leaves in the forest are greater than the leaves in your hand." And he would say, "So too, what I know is like the forest, but what I teach is like the leaves in my hand. Because if I teach you all the things that are in the forest, all the things I know, they will not bring you to the end goal, which is perfect enlightenment, perfect peace, nirvana." And so he only taught what was necessary for people to realize the ultimate truth for themselves. So I'm going to read a couple more here. An insincere and evil friend is more to be feared than a wild beast. A wild beast may and would your body, but it doesn't even make sense. May and would your body, but an evil friend, it's supposed to be wound. May wound your body, but an evil friend will wound your mind. As a candle cannot burn without fire, so men cannot live with a spiritual life. I thought that was real. I haven't read this before. I just came on this page. These are all fake Buddha quotes. And if you type in Google all fake Buddha quotes, I really recommend reading those. And then going and finding out what the Buddha taught at accesstoinsight.org. And I'll put a link below if you don't remember. It's accesstoinsight.org. That's the real teachings of the Buddha. And it's not this fluffy kind of everything is good and everything's awesome and just, accept everything as it is and just be happy and joyous and you just focus on your heart and everything will be okay. It's not like that. The Buddhist teaching is simple yet complex. If you really get into dependent origination, you'll understand that it's not such a simple teaching, yet it is simple. It explains the nature of existence, why we come into existence, why we keep reincarnating, and helps the mind understand true suffering and that there is no real lasting self and there is nothing worth hanging on to in the world, because all worldly desires and worldly pursuits come from a place of attachment. So while we can strive to do good things, the ultimate goal is to let everything go and to stop the cycle of samsara and stop the cycle of birth and death and suffering and reincarnation. So I'm going to read a couple more, and then I hope you'll check out accesstoinsight.org to learn what the Buddha really said. And one thing I like to do on that website is to go random sutta. And then I find random suttas and I read them. And another good thing to do is to click on the little link that says study guides, because there's some really, really good study guides if you want to learn what the Buddha taught and not what people think the Buddha taught, because they put his quotes in The Secret, and I don't even know if I don't even know if the quotes that are in The Secret are even real. And they put these quotes in all these New Age films that talk about the law of attraction and getting things, but the Buddha never would have taught that. The Buddha would have taught give up. He taught dispassion. He taught renunciation. So I'm going to read a couple more here for you, and then I'll end this video. Doubt everything, find your own light. Each morning we are born again. What we do today is what matters most. Even death is not to be feared by one who has lived wisely. These are great quotes, but they're not the Buddhist teaching. The Buddhist teaching was very specific so that we could end our own suffering. It was not about making you feel good. It was about getting your mind to understand the nature of suffering, because we all suffer and a lot of us are in denial about it. Happiness comes when your work and your words are of benefit to yourself and others. Happiness does not depend on what you have or what you are. It solely relies on what you think. And I don't know if that's true either. I don't think the Buddha would have taught that. It relies on what you think. I think he would have taught that happiness comes from a place when we completely release this I, this atta. He taught anatta. He taught there is no self or no lasting soul. He taught that there's only this becoming, this constant becoming into a false pseudo self. It's not even the ego. He taught egolessness, that the ego is not even real, that it's just becoming again and again and again, every moment. And so there is no lasting ego, there is no lasting self, it's all an illusion. And so I'll read a few more for you. So to free ourselves from that, to have this idea of ego, is very limiting, actually. So we should abandon even this idea that I have an ego, that I have a self, that I have a soul. And examine, find out for yourself if you have an ego, a self, or a soul. Meditate, completely still your mind, and not just this superficial meditation. You have to really go deep. You have to go on retreats. You have to, in order to get really, really deep. I thought I had got really deep in meditation, but not when I went to a meditation Vipassana retreat. I got so much deeper, and I know there's so much further to go. That's why I'm going to become a monk, because I know there's so much further and so much deeper to go to understanding the nature of my mind and the nature of reality. So I'll read a couple more for you. If you do not find the solution where you stand, where else shall you find it? if you propose to speak, ask yourself, is it true, is it necessary, is it kind? And those are good teachings, but the Buddha didn't teach that. If your companion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. In every trial, let understanding fight for you. See, I think what people try to do is they create these quotes, or they misquote, to satisfy their minds, their beliefs about the way they think life actually is. And what the Buddha taught is to see things as it actually is, absent of subjectivity. Seeing things as they actually are, seeing thought in thought, smell and smell, taste and taste, hearing and hearing, touch and touch, and sight and sight. And guarding the six sense doors and seeing reality as it actually is without the judgment. With just seeing color, shape, and form. Just hearing sound. Just tasting taste and not saying it's a bad taste. It may be unpleasant. It may be pleasant. But really what it's all about is not having craving or aversion for it. Not saying, I don't want this taste anymore. Or I want more of this taste. Because that's how we re-become. That's how we keep entering samsara moment by moment. Is by having aversion or craving. Or ignorance and just saying, well, it's not even there. So it's seeing reality as it really is. Experiencing reality fully. And therefore freeing ourselves to be in the present moment truly. And when we do that, we experience amazing bliss and happiness. So, I love you. Try to get outside of your thinking and try to get outside of beliefs. Whatever you believe is just a belief. It's been handed down by someone else. You've received it from someone else. It's a teaching from someone else. And the Buddha taught, not, don't even believe what I teach. He said, experience yourself and get into deep meditation. And if it still makes sense, then believe it. And if it doesn't make sense, then discard it. So discard all your limiting beliefs. Discard all the beliefs that have been handed down by you. And discard all the beliefs that you even, discovered for yourself. Because I've discovered things that I thought were true. And then I found out later, oh no, they're not true. I made an assumption. And then I found out a deeper truth. So there's always a deeper truth. And that deeper truth is beyond the mind. It's beyond thinking. And it's certainly beyond words. It's certainly even beyond the words the Buddha taught. The Buddha always guided us to experience for ourselves the ultimate reality. So that's why meditation is such a valuable tool. So check out www.accesstoinsight.org and learn what the Buddha taught yourself. And I wish you a wonderful life and a happy day and much metta. May you be safe, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be at ease.